Sense here. It is 10:10 a.m. Central Time on Saturday, March 24th, 2012. And I'm over here on my Facebook page. I'm discussing with several of my viewers. They favorited it out, and I figure I'll get it out here on a video just so you guys can know what we're talking about and what I'm going to be discussing in this video. Basically, this past week, it was a series of vindications came out for several of the things that I cover, several of the topics that I discuss. HAARP rings, scalar squares, man-made earthquakes, HAARP-made earthquakes, also the volcanic plumes that were so controversial. Alright, all this past week, really in the past 3 to 4 days, all these things have been vindicated. HAARP rings and scalar squares via a PDF paper from Stanford University, which I will provide a link to down below. You guys can go read it. But they talk about, well, their terms aren't HAARP rings and scalar squares. Their terms are square waves, sawtooth sweeps, and circle sweeps. Now my terms, of course, are scalar squares, stair-step patterns, and HAARP rings. And the paper is from 2008, and it's Stanford. Again, you guys can go read this thing and read the terminology firsthand, verbatim, page 2, section 2, subsection 11, all right? So page 2, section 2, subsection 11, go ahead and read about it. All right, they're square wave modulation, circle sweeps, and sawtooth patterns. And they even have a picture of how HAARP projects up the different patterns and how they move it to produce that pattern. And they move it at a very high frequency, a very high rate. And they talk about it in here. So you can go read this whole PDF. It's a really good read. If you're into science, you're going to love this. Okay, this talks about how they launch high frequency signals that turn into low frequency signals up in the atmosphere, which basically produce heating, and it happens in a circle or a square pattern or a stair-step pattern. Now, let me take you back over to my Facebook page, and I posted screenshots of the different phenomenon that I've captured over the months, just an example of each. So they call it square wave, I call it scalar square. Here's a picture of it. Okay, that's one. Alright, they call it sawtooth sweep, I call it stair-step pattern. There it is. Alright, and let's go look at the last one. They call it circle sweep, I call it HAARP ring. There's just one shot of many. We could just show these all day long. There's so many different shots of it. Alright? Now the man-made earthquake, or the pre-planned earthquake that occurred down in Mexico, the 7.9 that happened, okay, that was to the day, to the minute, to the country, and to the magnitude. 7.9, they put out flyers for a month beforehand, TV commercials. Alright? It's not up for debate. It happened. They put out all these commercials, all these posters, advertising for a month ahead of time, saying 7.9 is going to occur in Mexico. Prepare for this drill on March 20th, 2012 at noon. And the earthquake occurred at 12:02 p.m., noon, on March 20th, 2012, 7.9 in Mexico. Okay, that is a man-made earthquake. And it wasn't a nuke underground. We're talking VLF, very low frequency. How to make an earthquake. I'll put a link down below to that. You guys can go watch and listen to scientists talk about how you can make an earthquake using very low frequency. Okay, so that's second vindication. Now third is the volcanic plumes. Today, in New Mexico, from the Carrizozo volcanic lava fields, just west by 13 miles in the middle of the desert, a giant plume has erupted last night and is gone this morning. And we can just go look at that real time right now. Let's just go ahead and do that. Okay? This is the most recent vindication, so let's just go ahead and do it. Here we go, New Mexico, visible satellite. This is last night going into this morning. You'll see the plume erupt, and let me slow it down here so you can really see what's going on. Alright, you'll see this plume erupt, and it'll be gone by the morning. This is how it happens every time with these volcanic plumes. I'll put a link down below for that, so you guys can go watch it. There, it's gone. And then it starts over for last night, and goes back into it overnight, and gone by the morning. No lingering smoke, no residual fire. It's not a fire, it's the middle of the desert. I took screenshots of it and provided pictures. So there you go, guys. This week has been, again, like I said, a week of vindication. And why do I feel vindicated? Well, for a while, I really felt like I was preaching. I felt like I was having to get my message across to a skeptical audience. And now, with this kind of confirmation coming through in 1 week's time, it's a little overwhelming. First of all, I mean, I really am overwhelmed by it all happening so quick. But I want to thank all my supporters. I mean, look, I'm maxed out on Facebook. I can't add any more friends. Look, watch this. Right? Confirm. Individual Facebook members can only have access to 5,000 friends. I mean, I can't even add any more people. There's enough people that support this cause before the vindication that I'm flabbergasted now that we actually have the proof we need. So where do we go from here? Well, I'm producing the Weather Mod documentary. This couldn't have come at a better time. Also, more things are going to come in the future now. So those of you that have helped, thank you so much. And I will, again, put a link down below if you want to make a donation. Now that I've been vindicated a little bit more, now that it's a little bit more out there, I appreciate it. Every bit sent will be put towards weather modification studies and the cause that I'm working towards here, okay? So guys, much love and hang in there.